Just playing around. Okay, it is, let's see, May 12th. I am just waiting for Mohan and my handyman to get here. Since I don't have a boyfriend, I have plenty of guy friends, but I usually am used to having like someone around to help me do things like around the house and clean my car, which I've taken on myself now. But anyways, the handyman's gonna help me like mount the TV and put my drape curtains up and everything like that. So I'm just waiting for that. Anyways, I wanted to, while I'm waiting, talk about yesterday, the 11th, since I didn't do a video diary for the 11th. Let's see, in the morning, not in the morning, I've been studying for a couple of licensure exams, and anyways, I did that in the morning. I worked out, and then I went to a doctor's appointment. So, obviously, with my pelvis having all the metal inside of it, and I'm 35 years old, something to consider just for the next 5 year, my short-term 5 year plan would be if I want to have children, what is all entailed in the metal being in my body, being able to bear my own children, and then and all that stuff. So, and obviously 35 and up, I'm considered, I guess, my primary care physician calls it high risk. I don't know if I'm really that high risk. People do have kids, as she said, but she was like, 35 and on. It kind of just adds another dimension to getting pregnant and such. So, not that I have a boyfriend or not that I'm married or anything like that, but just planning wise, since I have the opportunity to plan, I am. Let's see. So, yesterday when I went to the primary care physician, I had asked her whether she thinks that it will be a problem for me to be able to bear children with the metal in my pelvis. And something that I've noticed in the last 2 weeks is that I have been probably more active than normal. I went to Huntington Beach to support a girlfriend who was speaking at an alumni event there. And then I went to Las Vegas just to get out of town. I had a couple of things going on. So we went out of town and obviously kind of just pushed myself a little bit more than normal. So my pelvis was hurting. And so, my pelvis isn't 100%. I guess it started, the more active I've become, the more it started to rear its ugly head, so to speak, randomly. Even right now, just sitting here, it's a little bit, probably not the best way to sit. So, anyways, so I guess that makes me a little bit nervous because the thought of this pain plus carrying or holding a child, with the pressure and there's no rigidity, or there's no flexibility, right? Metal's not flexible. So, for the most part, it doesn't have, it's not similar to your bones where it adjusts in that way. So that's a little worrisome. So, anyways, the doctor, I've heard from my orthopedic surgeon who said that, who had said a while ago that that might be a problem, the metal, and I might have to take that out to bear children. And the PCP, she said that the ortho supersedes her opinion, because he's a specialist, but, she's not really sure, especially just putting me, I'm already in a higher risk category, and then with the metal and the pain that I'm already feeling right now, she referred me to an OBGYN. So, I guess, to be honest with you, I've never been at a point in my life where I've really had, even when I was married, my ex-husband was away so much, so I never really had to think about, my face is all shiny because of the sandalwood oil I've been using on my face. Anyways, I never got the opportunity to really talk seriously about having children. And since I was young, I've always thought that I might adopt. I love children and I like to take care of them, but as far as myself and the whole parenting experience, that has not been something that I have ever, that's not my draw to having children or being around children. Being around children, my draw has always been to help them, to mentor them, to connect with them, and, you know, they tend to gravitate towards me ever since I was young. So, as far as the actual, I guess, being directly responsible for a child, that hasn't ever been an interest of mine. Therefore, I've never really seriously thought about wanting to have kids. But, you know, when someone tells you that you can't, it's a whole different ballgame, right? And now that I'm 35, you know, I'm seriously just trying to think about, I mean, even if I was to meet someone and they wanted kids, you know, if I was saying, no, I don't want children, it kind of makes my pool of people smaller as far as dating goes and meeting somebody. So I am very interested to see what they have to say back to me, so at least I have a gauge on where I'm at, should I want to have children. Um, but I can see how for somebody, if they wanted to have kids, this could be a major blow. It is added stress, I guess, in that sense. You know, if you were thinking that you wanted to have kids by a certain age, or you're with a partner, or whatever the case. So, yeah, that happened yesterday. What else did I do yesterday? My foot's kind of hurting today a little bit. I went to Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers. They just opened down the street here on 7th Street. And I went there for just a friend's party, or birthday party. Just hung out with, he had his family over in this area. They live in Arizona, but they came over into Central Phoenix. And we kind of just all hung out and joked around and had a good time. And then I left there about 8:30. I was supposed to meet up with a friend, but that didn't happen, so I met up with somebody else and then just talked. And that was kind of interesting because I had completely forgotten that my friend that I actually ended up meeting up with at Little Woody's on Indian School, cool place. Anyways, I had seen him the night of the accident, and I had completely forgotten about that. So, you know, he was just recapping the story because he was like trying to figure out we were trying to figure out when we last saw each other, and it turns out it was in fact the night of the accident, and I kept telling him, no, it's not, I didn't see the night of the accident, and he reminded me that he did, and I do recap now after he had reminded me that we did see each other at Kelly's of Southbridge, I think it's called. It's in Scottsdale. So the night of the accident, I was there. I saw him, and then he had not. You know, we got along really well. So, you know, he had texted me, and I hadn't texted back for a couple of days after the accident. And then he had gotten a text back from Mohan explaining what had happened. So he was like telling me about the shock of, you know, just having seen me, and then literally a couple hours later, I was hit by the car. So that was interesting. Anyways, catching up, and you know, it's always nice, I guess. I mean, when your friends see you and they commend you for your recovery, or they, you know, are verbally telling you what they see visually. Because I'm with an accident like this, you know, there could have been so many things that went just awry. You know, I didn't have to end up looking like this, where I'm still recognizable as to how I looked before, just with minimal scars and such. But it definitely could have played a mind game if I didn't come out, you know, kind of on top, so to speak. So, you know, people, as my recovery progresses, I think I mentioned this, it's just, I'm starting to look like perhaps I did before, or closer to what I did before. But, you know, the thing that's interesting is that the trauma is, you know, my life has changed, and it's never going to be forgotten. So no matter how normal I look or how much I look like I did before, I don't feel that way. And I definitely have changed just as a person. So, anyways, it's been a really good experience. It was really nice to meet up with my friends, to be getting back into, you know, just functioning by myself. I'm, you know, still studying and all that good stuff. I'm going to be hopefully meeting up with my old boss here this upcoming week. So, you know, good things are happening, and I don't think that there's anything, you know, that, again, just going back to catching up with people, you know, I show them my scars and just minimal. I mean, what you see, the scars here. I have a small scar here. I have one on my hand, another one on this side, and then my elbow, of course. But those are the only upper body scars that I have. There's nothing like in here at all. Even the incision that they made for my pelvis and putting all that metal into my body is about this long, which is a couple inches long. It's right below my bikini line, as if it were a C-section. I just obviously haven't had children, so. But it looks like just a, I think it looks like a C-section scar. Again, I've never seen anyone with a C-section scar, to be honest, so I don't know. But I know that what the doctors have told me is just like a C-section scar. So, that's pretty incredible. I feel really blessed by God, and I'm grateful, and I really want to make something of this opportunity. I feel like I was saved and given a second chance, and am better aligned with myself, and I've been focusing on myself and making sure that I make smart choices to keep myself on a good path, and to never have this accident be forgotten in vain. It's never going to be forgotten, let alone in vain, but I do feel like I have been blessed with the opportunity to make a difference. So that's why I'm sharing these stories. It's not about me just talking about myself or just trying to get attention. You know, I'm trying to get awareness for what happens when people go through something like this. I mean, a drunk driving accident, you know, I can honestly say I have been behind the wheel with a drink or two before, and this girl was, I mean, she was really, really drunk, like very drunk for a person her age. She shouldn't have been behind the wheel. I've never done that. But I guess me sharing my story helps to just reiterate that, like, that, you know, a victim surviving an accident isn't where it ends. I mean, the second that you're hit by a car, everything in your life changes. Everything. You know, people close to me, you watch people change their normal behavior. You know, there's a lot of things that come up from that. You're struggling to just stay focused and be happy and stay positive and not get too caught up in what doctors are saying. You know, doctors say a lot, and people will listen in a time like that. They're looking for answers, so they're looking to the doctors to tell them stuff. And my doctor said I wouldn't be walking for, 12 months, and, I lost my pets because of that scenario. I lost a lot of things with people trying to get involved to take care of me, anticipating a long-term recovery plan. So, um, the me bringing awareness and kind of walking people through what I went through, not so much because of my recovery and, trying to draw attention to how well I'm doing it. It's more because, the trauma as a result of the accident is there, and that's not something a lot of people probably speak up about. As far as, for example, when I first got in the car, I was hyper vigilant about everything. My mom was driving, and I probably made her much, much more nervous. But I was literally looking around, and it was just weird. And I wasn't even in a car when I got hit. So, and then being told that I couldn't have, or that I might not be able to have kids back in, I think it was December time. And then watching, all these programs and commercials, and I'm crying, and I'm subconsciously really affected by something that someone had said to me. It's just, there's a lot. So documenting it, and even now, the newest thing that started happening is people are looking at me and they're starting to see like someone that looks physically normal, just with a little bit of scarring. And, it's interesting because I am now getting the attention that I used to get before from, I guess, as far as when I'm out, people staring or wanting to talk to me or whatever the case. And that's odd because trying to relate on, what they see is, I mean, in the last year, it's just blown away. Even yesterday when we went out, one of my friend's brothers was like, oh, what happened to your leg? And, like, at least you're doing okay. So I think, come in. The door just rang. Come in. Come in. So, anyways, I have to go. But that's all.